This is Real Talk with Matt, where no fluff, no filters, just real advice meets real stories. Get ready to level up as we dive into raw, honest conversations about success, setbacks, and everything in between. Whether you're here to find inspiration, grab some practical tips, or just hear what it takes to thrive, you're in the right place. So buckle up, because it's time for some real talk.
Hello, everybody. Yes, it's been a long time, but this is an important episode. So, we obviously launched Beyond the Blueprint in October of last year, and it was a good run, went over a lot of great things, but I want to introduce you my new podcast, rebranded, and it's going to be called Real Talk with Matt. And the vision behind this is to open it up to more things, right? So we did a lot of episodes about the home buying process, the experiences behind that, what it's like to own an Airbnb, and some good interviews in there. So make sure you check back to some of the episodes that are in the archives that will still be available, and also our YouTube channel, or you can follow us on Facebook at Real Talk with Matt. It's been a great run, but I had a different vision for this. So with Real Talk with Matt, we're talking about anything. Anything I feel that's important, whether it is work-related, growth-related, anything that could possibly come up to help other people out there understand what's going on in the world, the market, and of course, creating development situations for everybody so they could grow. And I think that's really the important thing, is everybody knows I'm all about growth and those type of things. So I wanted to just do a little bit of an announcement. So a lot has changed since our last episode. So I'm excited about the future. I'm excited about 2025. And hopefully what we did was, with the success of Premier Mortgage Consultants Company that I am a partner of, we actually opened up a real estate company. And you might be asking why. So Glenn and I and David Shepard, who's our broker, who's been doing this for 12 plus years and had his own real estate company, we were thinking of a way, how can we put two forces together, right? And, obviously when it comes to real estate, they need the mortgage side, and on the mortgage side, we need the real estate side. So it all kind of comes together. And really the goal behind this is to help create an atmosphere where agents and mortgage and all the things in between can all relate to each other, but also help each other grow. And I think that's very, very important as, technology evolves and things happen over time. And as each day goes by, each week goes by, a month goes by, so many things have really changed. So we're really excited. Our real estate company is called Magnolia Sun Realty, currently in Florida. We also have a subdivision of it, which is the property management side as well. So a lot of great avenues there. I'm staying in my lane with mortgages. I'm not a realtor, nor will I be a realtor. That's not my forte. My forte is helping people get mortgages for their homes or investment properties, etc. But I'm really, really excited to be able to help people out there with the format of social media and how to grow your business. Just recently, and I've been posting about this, is that, after creating a digital creator account and getting, 7,000 followers, they open up more things for me, and it's been crazy. The last 4 weeks, approaching almost 4 million views, 4 million. Never thought that was a possibility 6 months ago, even 3 months ago. So thank you everybody out there that does, follow, my team, my page, and the crazy things I post, and plus the normal things I post, and things that could possibly help you. So I really, really appreciate that. And we're really excited about that. So if you're a realtor out there and been thinking about either becoming a mortgage broker, or maybe you're just looking for some change, and as we evolve in this world, feel free to reach out to me anytime. You could also send us a message at info@magnoliasunrealty.com. and we'd love to chat with you. Actually, David will chat with you, the broker, and we could talk about opportunities that we have, because we have a lot of different opportunities for you. So I've been doing my Real Talk live videos on Facebook, mostly around the mortgages. They're not the most interesting thing in the world to talk about, but I do try to give information when I can. But the Real Talk is going to be talking about different things. So health, fitness, mortgages, real estate, tools and resources. And that brings us into our episode today. So if you've been out there and following my post or any kind of information I've given, I've been sharing nuggets, and I like to do that on things that have worked for me. So today's topic is AI and how it's changing the game in business for both real estate and mortgages, or really anything. And I talk to a lot of people quite often, and I'm always asking them, like, how do you do your content? How do you share information? And ironically enough, not enough people out there, in my opinion, are using the tools that are out there or resources out there to help you. So I wanted to talk today about ChatGPT. And you could go on about this forever, but some of the ways I utilize it and how it helps me with really anything I do. So you might be asking, what is ChatGPT? Well, ChatGPT came out a couple of years ago. Actually, it might have been about a year ago. And it is essentially an AI system where you can have we'll call it a two-way communication with. I didn't know much about it. I talked to somebody who is kind of an expert about it probably about a year ago, and I was using it totally wrong. Like, make me a Facebook post, and I copy and paste it, and I didn't realize that the AI understands and learns who you are. And I was like, well, how interesting. Okay, so you got to start using it, and it'll start spitting out information based on learning who you are. And I use it in a couple different ways. So number one, I use it for the majority of the video content that I produce. I wish this tool was available a long time ago. And I also use it for our cabin for marketing, our cabin up in Blue Ridge, Georgia. And I use it for marketing and creating posts and different dialogue with that. And I also use it for just tasks. Simple tasks or looking up things. It's so smart that it could take any kind of question that you ask and reach out to millions of different resources to get you an answer, which is really, really, really impressive. But it's really changed the dynamic of real estate, mortgages, and companies, because it's a tool to use. It's not the end-all be-all, and a lot of people are like, oh, AI is going to take over the world. It's not true. But it's a tool to use to help you grow and engage in certain activities or things that you're looking to do, but also help you not have to take time to really think about things. You still got to work at it and work on it to make it better, but it's a huge tool. So I wanted to talk a little bit about this and really how I utilize it and how you guys could utilize it as well in your daily lives. But the first thing is you got to sign up for it. So the website I have right up here is essentially either chatgpt.com, openai.com, and there's different versions you could get. So they do have a free version. I opt to pay for the paid version, gives you more access to things, faster turn times, etc. But the really cool thing is when you first start, it's just a blank canvas, but then it starts realizing who you are. So like, for example, for today, I went in there and said, hey, listen, I want to change the podcast name from Beyond the Blueprint to Real Talk. And I said, I want to talk about a topic that's kind of hot today. And it kind of gave me some ideas. And then I said, well, ChatGPT and AI is pretty useful in this day, so why not do a video on this? And I have my timeline here and just points to stay on track, because otherwise I'll go all the way over there in right field or left field. And that's what I want to talk about today, and how I utilize it and how you guys could utilize it in your daily activities and business as well. So the cool thing with ChatGPT is once you get in there, it's, you could just talk to it, say, hey, I am the president of Premier Mortgage Consultants, and I want to use this chat to produce content or scripts or whatever it might be, maybe an email to a realtor or a buyer or a client, whatever it may be. and it will start learning who you are and how you are. It's at the point now where I just type something and knows, is this about real estate? Is this about mortgages? Or is this about your Airbnb? And it's really, really cool. And a lot of people think like, oh, I can't figure out technology. It's the simplest technology there is out there. I mean, ChatGPT could write a book, with your ideas, which is really cool. So how can it help you? Well, the biggest thing is it's an automation tool. So it can help you in, for example, like if you have a CRM, and in the real estate world, a lot of these companies out there, they have ChatGPT robots essentially that will reach out to clients and talk to them like a human being and then connect you when it's a hot lead. Like, that's pretty cool. And a lot of people, what happens is when they do lead generation is the number one thing that they don't do is follow up. And then when you don't follow up, somebody else does, and then you lose the deal. So it's really, really cool in that as far as a productivity standpoint. But it could also help your marketing strategies. So you could type in there like, what's really hot in Southwest Florida with real estate, and what's something I could share in a reel or in a Facebook post or on an Instagram post, whatever it might be. And it'll give you a bunch of ideas, and you could dissect those ideas into more things until you find something right. And then you could actually even tell it like, all right, I want to post in Mr. Beast tone. And it's like, watch out, real estate's fired up right now, or something crazy like that. And it'll actually write it in that tone, which is really, really cool. How I use it nowadays is, before when I used to do my videos, I used to sit there with not a pen and paper, but essentially just for visual purposes and kind of like, all right, here's my call to action. Here's my point I want to make and how I'm going to tie it all together, and then come up with my own script. Well, now it's super easy. I could just literally type in to ChatGPT and say, I want to do a video real quick. And this one's going to be on HELOCs. Write me a script that reaches out to potential homeowners who have a very low first rate mortgage and the benefits of doing a HELOC, so you don't touch the first mortgage, but you could utilize that to pay off debt or use that to do home improvements or buy a second house or whatever it is. And it'll literally put it out. It'll actually give you scene cuts if you really want to get fancy, but I'll edit that. But it'll give you the whole script, and you could actually use a teleprompter to read it, but you got to tweak it because it could be a little robotic, but once it learns who you are, you're going to see that it's going to understand, your demeanor, your tone, and everything else in between. So that's what I do. Now the tough part is once it's all done and your video's done, is then what? What's the next steps? And that's where I use CapCut. CapCut's a great tool. They have a free plan or $100 a year. I used $100 a year. It has more editing options. But you could take that video that you made, actually that ChatGPT generated the script, you spoke it, and I would recommend if you're going to do any kind of videos that have a good lapel microphone. This room that I'm in here is very, very echoey. We put baffling in, but having a microphone is very, very important. Otherwise, it's going to sound something like this where it's very echoey. So when you have a microphone up or something to capture the audio coming in your mouth, it makes it a lot easier. So essentially when you're done with your video or content, whatever it might be, and that doesn't have to be about mortgages, it could be about real estate, it could be about cookies, hobbies, recipes, whatever you might have, you could take it into CapCut, and CapCut's really cool because it's basically a timeline. You can have your projects in there, and then you could create the cuts and the music and the text and add overlays and a whole bunch of different things. And that, when I first started, was intimidating, but now it's like a hobby. I get excited to kind of edit things that I create because you're like, wow, how did I take this video that's raw video with nothing, and then you make it like glorious, and it's really, really neat. So that's how I do it. And then sometimes, if you're a lot like me and you're kind of scattered, I have what I call ADHD or ADD, and my brain runs. So they actually have a different spot where you could go in there and just brainstorm or write ideas, and you could keep it there, and then it could actually tweak it. And then if you have it on your phone, you could actually talk to it. So sometimes in the car, I'll be like, hey, I want to do a video on how to engage renters out there that are, that could possibly buy a house, and maybe they just don't understand the process, etc. And then it could relate those ideas and put them into life. And I think the biggest thing is with anybody out there is all of us have great ideas, but if you don't execute on your ideas or put them to paper, then they're just an idea that never goes anywhere. And I've talked about that before in previous episodes, that the simplest idea could be one of the best ideas in the world, but you got to execute on it. And, I was talking to some people today, some realtor partners and friends, and they were talking about their goals for 2025. And I said, that's awesome. And, now's the time to get that in place and put a timeline out and then create a SMART goal. So something that's specific, measurable, actionable, it's retainable, and you have a timeline on it. And if you don't have goals, it's very, very, crucial to have them. Otherwise you have no direction or any kind of benchmark on where you want to go with your career, if it's family oriented, if it's recreational, occupational, whatever it might be. Is you got to have goals in place in order to have some kind of benchmark or plan of how you're doing, right? My goal this year, for this year that I said last year, was to do 100 mortgages. Well, I didn't realize that the mortgage market, because there's no crystal ball and every day it changes, that the rates would be so astronomically higher than they were the previous year. But get this, this is where adversity comes in, and being able to change how things and perspectives are looked at. I just got my 121st clear to close and have originated. That means I have done over $50 million in loans for this year. And that's a lot. I get calls probably 5 times a day for recruiting. And, this might be the third year in a row being top 1% in the entire nation. And I only do Florida, Georgia, and I don't do Texas, but I could for mortgages. So think about that. And I only do 2 states on 1 person. And this is not like a pat on the back. It's just the reality is that if you are in a tough market or things are not moving for you and you're not doing anything to create a change or create a culture or reach out to people, then that's why you're not successful right now. I mean, that's the truth of it. When things are easy, it's easy for everybody. It's just the people that are doing things in a really tough market, including my job, which is, getting people pre-approved and keys to a house, that we're going to be way over the top because it's going to just pour in because it's already easy as it is. So I want to keep that out there to you. So if you're out there and you're like, oh my gosh, I need to go get another job, I want you to really reflect. Take a second and just reflect. What have you done differently? And we'll pause for a second. What have you done differently? Did you set goals last year for this year? Those are the things that you got to start thinking of is, what are the whys behind things? All right. And I'm going to put this in perspective. So I'm very busy. I probably get 5-6 applications a week, and I average, 8 to 15 loans a month. That's into underwriting and close, right? That's kind of the average. Some months are a little less, some months are a little bit more. And I still have time to make video content that goes out on Facebook. I still have time to do a podcast. I still have time to edit the podcast. I still have time to put it on YouTube. I still have time to do a bunch of different things. So the excuse of not having enough time is absolutely BS in my opinion. And that's where something like using AI or ChatGPT can help you, because you could be like, hey, give me a schedule for the next week. I want to do 3 different videos. I want to do them on this. Lay it out for me in a timeline for the week. It will literally do it for you. It's amazing. It's amazing, amazing, amazing. So I want to do just a little thing. So the cool thing is on ChatGPT is that you could ask it really anything. So, right now I could type into my ChatGPT, what's the biggest challenge for first-time home buyers right now in today's market? So it is thinking, searching the web, and I literally have the answer right now. So it's got 5 different points, right? So I asked first-time home buyers in today's market, what kind of challenges do they face? Number 1, elevated home prices. The median home price has risen to over $404,000, making affordability a major concern for new home buyers. I'm going to call fact. That's a fact. High mortgage rates. So with 30-year mortgage rates exceeding 7%, it's not 100% true on all products, but let's just say the average. Monthly payments have become more burdensome, further straining budgets. So that's a big piece there. So if you're wondering why you're not getting buyers, well, a piece of that might be the home prices and the high mortgage rates. But there's ways around that. That's when you get with a good preferred lender that can help you with that. But limited housing inventory. So I don't think this is true in Southwest Florida because there's a ton of houses for sale. But when you're in other places around the country, if there's not much inventory, you're going against other buyers that can make it difficult too. So I agree with that. The rising age of first-time buyers. So the median age for first-time home buyers increased to the age of 38. See, I did not know that. That's a fun fact. I'm 39, so I'm like, that's odd. Indicating that they may be delaying homeownership due to financial constraints. I was reading a story last week, and this kind of boggled my mind, but now it makes sense because ChatGPT just solidified that, fact-checked. So the millennials nowadays, so anywhere, maybe there's another generation below that, but back 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, typically, you live at your parents' till you're 18, maybe a little bit less, you have a family, and then when you're in your young 20s, you buy a house. I was one of them. My wife is one of them. And nowadays, it seems like the kids are waiting until they're like 40 to buy a house. And then I started thinking, why? And it all kind of makes sense, is that in today's market, it's like, all right, the workforce. Let's look at the workforce. A lot of the younger kids are kind of doing like freelancer jobs. They don't do their tax returns right or their taxes at all. Or they're kind of just doing like little things here or there. Nobody's like really kind of going after a career, which we all did. It was like, all right, we're done with high school now. Let's go figure out life. And then they're living under the roofs of their parents. And I can understand why, because the cost of rent is stupid expensive. At least down here in Southwest Florida, it's probably $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a month, and then buying a house is expensive. So it makes sense. So they're living at home with their parents, but then again, are the parents teaching them to like save money so they could go buy a house? And that part I don't think is really happening. So it's kind of confusing. So right now, it seems like the age group in let's say 32 and up is the new buyers group, which is odd. You would think that younger, you're more of a go-getter and want to hustle so you could do the American dream, which is buy a house, start a family, and all those good things. But I just thought that was pretty interesting. And that's just me typing one sentence. I learned a couple nuggets here. And I'm in the industry and I still learn. So that's how cool it is. So the nice thing is with this is you could be like, okay, write me a script for a video I'll do on Facebook on topic 5, why homeowners are waiting longer in life to buy a house. Make it energetic, and have a call to action to reach out so we can have a consultation, as you may be ready now. All right. So it says here's an energetic script for your Facebook video. Video script: why homeowners are waiting longer to buy their first home. So this is the camera. Imagine this was, my computer screen is the teleprompter, okay? So this is how we do. Hey everyone, Matt here with Real Talk with Matt and Magnolia Sun Realty. Let's talk about something super important. Why are people waiting longer than ever to buy their first home? All right, there's my first part. I've never seen this before. I'm reading it live as you're hearing it. Did you know the average age of a first-time home buyer has jumped to 38 years old? Crazy, right? Back in the day, people were buying homes in their 20s. So what changed? Let me break it down for you. Okay. Segment 1, challenges with energy and empathy. First, life's just more expensive these days, from student loans to higher rents and everything in between. Saving for a down payment can feel impossible. And while housing prices rising and mortgage rates hovering higher, it's easy to think home ownership is out of reach. But here's the thing. Waiting longer isn't always the answer. The truth is, you might be ready right now and just don't realize it. I see it all the time. People assume they need a ton of money up front, but there are so many programs designed to help first-time home buyers. Yes, even you. All right, so there's a script there. Segment 2, flip the perspective. And here's the kicker. Renting isn't getting any cheaper. If you're paying $2,500 a month in rent, you could be building equity in your own home instead of paying off your landlord's mortgage. So let me ask you this. What's stopping you? Is it fear or the unknown, thinking you can't qualify? That's where I come in. Here's the call to action. Let's cut through the guesswork. Reach out to me today for a quick No pressure consultation. We'll look at your situation, explore your options, and see if now is the right time for you to buy. You might be closer than you think to owning your dream home. Send me a message, give me a call, or drop a comment below. Let's get you on the path to homeownership today. Done. Okay? It even said the path to homeownership. That's my term, my lingo. Actually, I stole that from my friend Lorena, but we call it the path to homeownership. It knows to put that in there because I've used it before. That's how incredible this is. And I could even switch this around. I could even say in here, like, write it in a Joe Rogan format or a Mr. Beast format or whoever your favorite person is format, and it will give you that type of lingo and stuff there. So it's really, really cool. And that's just one example. And then I would just literally take that video. So if I'm on my phone on a front facing, long form is this way, short form is this way, and you have a teleprompter and you could read. That's number one. You got to just be able to read and show some emotions. Don't sing when you read, like, don't let the headlines scare you. Like, you got to read naturally, and that takes a little practice, and that's what actors do. But if you could do that and put it in a CapCut, it doesn't even have to be perfect. That will come over time, and get that information out there. I promise you. I get people all the time reaching out to me about mortgages, HELOCs, realtors, this and that, all the time in my inbox asking questions. That's how you do it. You don't have to go and shake hands and kiss babies and do all these things. You have all the power of reach right in front of you where you don't have to do that. It's nice, yes, to meet with people. I love having people in here to talk to and doing these. But the real talk here is you have tons of tools in front of you. And this ties into why we created a real estate company. I'm going to be teaching our team how to be expert social media marketers. I'm a marketer. I've learned how to do it. I didn't know anything about it when I first started. When I first started doing mortgages, I was, figuring it out through the trenches. I had to figure it all out, and that's just how it works. And I was like, wow, technology is pretty cool. It has a lot of ways to get you different, prospective buyers or leads or anything like that. So that was just an example. And that's what I do. So I set it up Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I usually do a video. I'll talk to ChatGPT, try to find out what's hot in the market, what are people asking, because it uses all the different resources out there, what people are Googling, like, hey, can I buy a home with low credit or whatever it might be? And I try to come up with something that I could share with somebody that might be like, aha, maybe I can buy a house. Maybe I can buy an investment property. Maybe I should do a HELOC, all these different things. So that's the beauty of AI and ChatGPT, and it's always revolutioning or evolutioning, however you want to say it. It's always changing and adapting for the good, which is amazing. So just wanted to share that with you. So we asked ChatGPT, just to recap, how I use it and utilize it, how to ask it questions, and then how to take that to the next level. And that's, tweaking it, get into your message, right? And it's going to learn. Every time I go in there, it says memory updated, so it knows. And at the end of the day, I'm pretty happy that I believe Elon Musk and a couple of the other guys out there, they're going to be monitoring this, because AI also can be very dangerous because of it's a robot and it doesn't have rules. So just be cautious when you use it. I wouldn't probably give it your social security number, but I would just use it as a tool and a resource and not in a malicious way at all. All right, so that's really it. I just want to talk about that and how I utilize that, and kind of share my insight on it. And you have to just practice with it. Even the free version, just use it. You could write anything to it. They have image editors, PowerPoints. I mean, this thing could essentially do really anything and everything that you want it to do, which is amazing. So I thought I'd share that with you. And you don't have to be a realtor or a mortgage person. I mean, if you own a cookie shop, a carpenter shop, you could be the CEO of Home Depot. I mean, it doesn't matter. You could use it for anything, but it will definitely help, and it will definitely help you progress to that next level, because a lot of times we're stuck, and sometimes I run out of content. I'm like, I've done a video on this like 8,000 times. Why do it one more time? And then I'm like, why don't I tweak it this way and that way on that? But remember, at the end of the day, it's all about using tools like this to make smarter decisions and create better experiences. And that's for yourself, your followers, your business, and everything else in between. So I'm going to ask you, what are your thoughts on ChatGPT or AI? Are you using it? Are you not using it? I think that if you haven't used it, you should definitely try it. If you do have it and you haven't used it, get more consistent with it. It should be up. Mine's up every single day on my window. So, I just tweaked around a whole bunch of our Airbnb stuff, like the messages that go out. I realized that, things to do in Blue Ridge, some of them have closed, so I got to update it. So I did all that in there. And, I just copy and pasted it and put our own tone on it and everything else. And that's really it. So everything is good there. So I just wanted you guys to understand that. And of course, you can reach out to me anytime if you have any questions on it, and all that good stuff. But so if you can, I'm trying to grow this channel. I'll do more videos, with more growth, because I don't know if everybody gets to listen to it or has listened to it, but if you can, really, really important on whatever streaming service you're using, just hit a little like, follow, subscribe, whatever the button allows you to do. That definitely helps. That way you'll get notified for my videos in the future. When I put them on, for some reason, Facebook doesn't like when you post from outside. I'm not going to upload a 35-minute podcast video to Facebook, but if you can, just support as much as you can. It doesn't cost anything, obviously, but that motivates me when there's more people interacting and saying things. That motivates me to do more videos. And it's been a long time. I've been very busy the last couple months, but I'm back in the game. And we're talking a real talk with Matt. But what I want to do is next week, let's talk about mistakes first-time home buyers make. You don't want to miss this because I have stories that we could go on and on about. A lot of first-time home buyers, they don't understand, and if they don't work with the right person. We actually just closed the deal, got the clear to close today on a big mistake a mortgage broker could have avoided, but, PMC, myself, and Jen saved the day, like usual. So we're excited about that, and we have happy client, happy realtors, happy everybody. Because we know how to direct traffic, so nothing ever fails. Knock on wood. Every deal out of, the 120 have closed. So very blessed for that, and I'm blessed for all of you out there that support.
Thanks for listening to Real Talk with Matt. We appreciate you taking the time to hang out with us. Seriously, it means the world. If you've got questions, need advice, or just want to hear our take on a topic, don't be shy. Reach out anytime. This podcast is all about you, and we'd love to cover what's on your mind in a future episode. And hey, if you found value in today's episode, do us a favor, subscribe, share this with a friend, and drop a review. Let's keep the conversation going and help more people stay inspired in the know. Until next time, stay bold, stay driven, and keep chasing what's next. This has been Real Talk with Matt. Catch you soon.